I think when we think about research and its impact on society, the maximum time that we should spend is on generation of the idea. What is that wow idea that can change the world, that can change our surroundings? So that is where the thought process started for the conference, and we have a lovely 2 days lined up of, I think, 150 papers, presentations. I wish all of you some great time, great learning. I welcome all of you to move from one room to the other and see what presentations are going on and what maximum we can draw out of it. And if required, and if possible, whether we can think, okay, this is the research I am attending. How can I transform this research to maximize societal outcome, societal welfare? So again, welcome all of you. Thank you very much, respected guests on the dais, my dear faculty, my dear students. I wish you all great learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me take you through the marvelous journey of Prestige Institute of Management and Research Indore.
Educating someone is the noblest effort anyone can do in his lifetime. Prestige Education Foundation was founded with the same motive in the year 1994. In its journey, this foundation is nurturing students from LKG till PhD, with the vision of developing students of society as front runners and to contribute towards national development. Prestige Education Foundation runs institutions offering courses in management, engineering, law, media studies, commerce, IT, to name a few. With its glorious voyage of excellence in quality education, research and consultancy, the Prestige Education Foundation now stands at a new threshold with its upcoming Prestige University. The man behind this vision is Padma Shri Dr. N. Jain, an entrepreneur, industrialist and philanthropist. Carrying the vision of Dr. N. Jain to new heights, Dr. Devish Jain, Chairman, Prestige Education Foundation and Chancellor, Prestige University, and Mr. Dipin Jain, Vice Chairman, Prestige Education Foundation and Pro-Chancellor, Prestige University, are spearheading this intellectual entity by following the footprints and vision of their father. Maintaining high standards as per the norms and directives of higher education and education bodies of state and central government, the institute was successful to get permanent affiliation from the prestigious Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya Indore in the year 2000. It enjoys autonomous status thrice consecutively by UGC in 2006, 2012 and again in 2018. It is recognized by University Grants Commission under 2F and 12B. The institute is proud to have been accredited thrice with the highest grades by National Assessment and Accreditation Council UGC. Currently, Prestige Institute of Management and Research Indore enjoys NAC A++ grade with a CGPA of 3.57, making it the only institute in Central India to do so. It is also an ISO 9001-2015 certified institute. PIMI provides suitable environment for academic research and currently has 49 PhD guides, 115 JRF and PhD awardees, and 91 research scholars at our PhD center, which came into action in the year 1994. The PhD Center is a recognized research center of Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya Indore. At present, Close to 400 research papers of our faculty members have made their place in different and esteemed international and national research journals such as UGC, UGC Care, Scopus and AVDC. In the year 2019, PIMR was enlisted under UGC Paramarsh scheme where it assists other institutions for NAC accreditation purposes. PIMR Good Governance Cell has been actively involved in conducting various activities related to public-private relationship model and helps to accomplish various government projects. Department of Higher Education and World Bank initiated governance benchmarking project with international standards in which PIMR Indore is identified as a top-notch institute and has been suggested to offer suggestions and recommendations to other institutions. The year of 2018 brought another milestone for us as the foundation stone of Atal Incubation Center, prestigious Fire Foundation, was laid, which is an initiative supported by Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, and the Government of India. The concept of Prestige Atal Incubation Center is to give a shape with the notion of establishing startups in the agricultural sector of MP region and other promising sectors by budding entrepreneurs. The AIC currently has 12 startups that have won numerous awards at international and national levels. Beginning with 400 in 1994, the student strength now stands at over 5,000 and continues to rise in postgraduate courses, MBA full-time, MBA Financial Administration, MBA Marketing Management, MBA International Business, MBA Personnel Administration, MBA Advertising and Public Relations, Master of Mass Communication. The institute also offers BWOC, Bachelor of Vocational Studies, in Banking and Financial Services and E-Commerce and Digital Marketing. In undergraduate courses, BBA, BBA Foreign Trade, BCA, BCom Honours, BA JMC, and in law courses, BA LLB Honours, BCom LLB Honours, BBA LLB Honours, LLB Honours, LLM. The institute also offers a range of certification programs. Complacency leads to stagnancy. The institute continuously evaluates itself through participation in various external rankings conducted by external agencies. The institute has been consistently ranked in top business schools of India on a variety of parameters. The institute supports and promotes a range of developmental programs for faculty members and has successfully conducted many faculty development programs, research methodology workshops, curriculum development workshops, case study workshops, and international conferences ever since its inception. We are proud to host a galaxy of experts, luminaries, and delegates cutting across industries and sectors who have blessed, motivated, and inspired our students with their knowledge, experience, and expertise. PIMR's Research Consultancy and Training Wing conducts MDPs, EDPs, and many training programs for industry and several departments. Under the umbrella of best practices, PIMR prides itself in providing the students a holistic center, Road Track Club, PIMR Literacy Mission, and our flagship program Rahat, a health camp organized to serve community. Anubhuti and village adoption are at the forefront of our endeavor to contribute meaningfully towards social causes. A sound infrastructure is one of the most crucial elements for creating a sound learning environment within an institution. Keeping this in mind, the institute has been maintaining its advanced infrastructure such as e-library, dedicated English language lab, computer-based simulation lab, and a well-equipped media studio that caters to all the requirements of film and television production. All these have led to the creation of award-winning productions. Department's community radio and Prestige International Film Festival help media students to get contemporary exposure. Apart from classroom teaching, the institute provides an array of activities and engagement initiatives for students. eShakti, a student-driven event, was a joint initiative of Madhya Pradesh Agency of Promotion of Information Technology, Bharti Airtel Limited Airtel, and Prestige Institute of Management and Research, which empowered 1 lakh safeguard 20,000 women of Madhya Pradesh by making them computer literate. Regular series of institute-industry interactions, student-driven clubs, Central India's biggest youth festival, Manthan, are all platforms for students in the direction of experiential and hands-on learning. With our students, we have successfully achieved Guinness World Record of largest backward walk and many other records. We are proud about our supportive and meaningful MOUs with foreign universities and institutions such as Munich Business School, Munich, Germany, London School of Business and Finance, Singapore, Federal Polytechnic, Opo, Anambra State, Nigeria, International Latin University, Argentina, Poltava University of Economics and Trade, Poltava, Ukraine, NEFU University, Yakutsk, Russia, Synergy University, Moscow, Russia, Florida International University, United States of America, in Rushford Education Group, Rushford Business School, Switzerland, Berlin School of Health Sciences, Berlin, James Lind Institute, Switzerland, to name a few. We also maintain a list of strong linkages and professional MOUs with industry. The Institute offers global exposure to students through its international linkages in the forms of international internships, industrial visits, foreign certification programs, and short training courses. An institute is known by its students and their success stories. Placements at PIMR have been outstanding, attracting recruiters from diverse sectors. Alumni are the real brand ambassadors, and our institute feels immensely proud of PIMR alumni who are creating milestones in their respective fields. Having made their footprints domestically and globally, our alumni are associated with top leagues across industries. The next milestone in this enriching and engaging journey for PIMR is to be a degree awarding institute.
Now request Dr. Rupal Chaudhary to please welcome Dr. Ajit Upadhyay, Director, Prestige Institute of Management Research, Xviii. Please, ma'am. Can I have the bouquet, please?
पर अभी बैटरी है, अभी परेशान मत हो।
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, breathe deep. Rarest are the moments where the champions are breathing. The air here is filled with diligent hard work, sheer brilliance, and last but not least, the supreme success. We at PIMR take pride and pay respect to all the champions present here on the dais today. Now it is the time to introduce one of the champions, the luminary, to you. And yes, I'm talking about Dr. Devish Jain. So let me play the AD now.
Dr. Devish Jain, Chairman Prestige Education Foundation, Chancellor Prestige University, President Prestige Group of Industries. Dr. Jain is a dynamic and forward-looking industrialist who has inherited the vision and foresight of his illustrious father, Padma Shri awardee Dr. Jain. Sir earned his MPhil degree, awarded PhD from the Open International University for Complementary Medicine in affiliation with Zorin Street College in the special consultative status of UNESCO and later conferred with the SC and then with D-Litt. Dr. Jain has been conferred with various national and international awards such as Atal Shastra Markanam, Madhya Pradesh Ratna Pratibha Alankaran, Icon of Madhya Pradesh, World's Greatest Brands and Leaders Award, CSR Leader Award, and many more for his distinguished contributions in the fields of agribusiness, industry, and education. With his visionary approach and incessant contribution towards societal development, he has been appointed as a member of the Consultative Committee of the Food inauguration of India, the state of Madhya Pradesh nominated by the Government of India, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Nominated as President of Central Organization for Oil Industry and Trade. Sir is also nominated as Chairman, Surabhi Processors Association of India. Sir earned the title of Man with a Vision and led by leading journal, Oils and Fats Industry in South Asia. Dr. Jain has also authored two books titled Golden Insight Enterprising Surabhi and Golden Insight Enterprising Knowledge. He is also invited as keynote speaker at numerous national and international forums. We welcome you, sir.
So you are requested to please exit.
Namaskar and good morning to everyone here. On behalf of the Prestige Education Foundation, Prestige University and Prestige Institute of Management and Research and all our allied institutions, I take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries and the participants at this international conference. The theme, as we know, is transforming management practices and processes for economic development and societal welfare. I congratulate Dr. Devashish Malik and his team to choose the appropriate theme for this international conference. I especially welcome, although we are waiting for her to be with us, our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Xviii University, Madam Dr. Renu Jain ji. Here with us, Dr. Dennis Wink, Professor of Finance and Investment, Financial Advisor to Nine Road Business University, who is an alumnus of Harvard Business School. Shri Dr. Raja Rai Chaudhary, who is the Group CEO of Darwin Group, which is a $8.4 billion group. Shri Parikshit Vaidya of Sundaram Finance, the directors, Dr. Colonel Raman Iyer, Dr. Sunita Arya, Director of other prestigious institutions here. Yeah. Welcome, madam. Before we talk about this conference theme, let me share about the growth story of this great nation. Recently, while I was listening to the speech of Shri Deepak Bagla, CEO of Invest India, my chest swelled with pride, and I heard that his exponential growth in nearly every sector India has witnessed over the past 8 to 9 years. I shall share with you some interesting data points which were enumerated by him. The total FDI that India received since 1947 is about $950 billion or close to $1 trillion, of which more than half, that is 532 billion, came in just last 8 years. This FDI came from 162 countries in 31 states of India, which is a record in itself. As per data, India stands at number 3 in the world in terms of unicorns. Last year, India gave 1 unicorn every 29 days. This year, the duration is just 9 days. From 122nd rank in internet usage, 8 years ago, India is number 1 country in internet usage and number 1 in digital transactions in the world. Some days back, India has become the world's largest resource for human capital. 1.4 billion, that is 140 crores, with an average age of 29 years, is the growth engine of juggernaut called India. The Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has actually fueled this engine to propel forward and deliver high-speed growth in the last 9 years. The icing on the cake is that India shall remain the youngest nation on the planet till 2070. The task before us, providers of education and the receivers of quality education, are to skill the nation and accelerate the juggernaut like never before. The government has formed 6 working groups to make suggestions on the key budget announcements, including the Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, Skill India Digital Platform, Skill India International Centers, National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme, National Digital Library and Teachers Training. According to a report, a skill mapping study of the Ministry of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship across 16 countries has projected demand for 17 million skilled workforce in the next 5 years. India is keen to capitalize on this demand and provide employment opportunities to millions of its youth who will be joining the workforce over the next 5 years. Under PMKVY 2.0, about 11 million people have been trained, 83% certified, and about 2.14 million placed as per the Economic Survey 2022-23. The Union Budget 22-23 envisaged a launch of revamped PMKVY 4.0 to open up job opportunities for Indian youth overseas. As academic institutions, we all need to be part of PMKVY 4.0 to churn out skilled manpower, not only for India, but for the whole world, as well as make India the largest skilled manpower providers to the world. Having shared that, let me now come to the topic on hand, the theme of the 18th International Conference hosted by PIMR today and tomorrow, the 25th and 26th February 2023. This year's theme, as I just mentioned, transforming management practices and processes for economic development and societal welfare. The learned guests, faculty members and students expand at length on the salient features and the nuances of issues at hand. Touch upon a few issues. Let me share with you what I find relevant. Management, as someone defined, is the art and science of generating, evaluating several alternatives and scientifically based data, choosing the most optimal alternative. Well, that may be somewhat outdated definition in the wake of analytics, wherein human intervention is being reduced very rapidly by artificial intelligence and machine learning. So what do we mean by practices and processes? It is simply a description of the manner in which activities are performed to achieve the desired result. Just like internet speeds have increased over the years from 64 kbps to mbps and now to gbps, similarly demand of higher speed decision making are the task of the future. Data in the universe is now in the order of petabytes or 2 to the power of 80 bytes. A high-speed management process uses analytic tools to quickly sift the useful form of garbage and provide the relevant inputs and take learned and educated data-based decisions. Artificial intelligence and machine learning along with blockchain techniques are enabling much more efficient error-free processes outcomes and benefiting society in a very big way. It is a no-brainer that economic activity as a result of need, ability and willingness on the part of customers while providing the product or service at the right price, at the right place and at the right time. Remember the 3 P's what mentioned by Philip Kotler. If we reduce lag and waste in any process, it is only natural that the economic development of that home, organization, state or nation will grow faster and more error-free. While I do not consider myself as an expert on research, like many in this audience, I wish to share that I followed the basic principles of management practices and processes in the real world while I manage a group of companies with over 3,000 crores of top line. Efficient management teaches us to understand how people behave in the organizations and the nature of power, influence and leadership. These are planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling are the important factors of the management. COVID-19 pandemic has completely changed the businesses and the modus operandi of business across the world, and India is no exception to it. Unlike many developed countries across the world, India is an isolated example of surviving through the most difficult times in human history. India not only survived the onslaught of its economy post-COVID pandemic, but revived its economy faster than any countries, and now country's economy is poised to thrive and moving towards becoming a $5 trillion economy in next 3 years. All this has been possible only because of the metamorphosis in its management practices post-COVID, brought about by the firms, organizations and industry under the strong and dynamic leadership of our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. To every citizen of this country, as a matter of fact, we have already moving towards a developed country from an underdeveloped nation. I do hope that during this 2 days international conference, experts from the country and abroad will talk about this change and how these changes have benefited the society and the country. With these words, thank you, friends.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful insights you have shared with us today. Whether we talk about the 3 P's that you have explained or the change that all of us must work to bring a positive change in the society. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very important guest with us today, Dr. Renu Jain, Vice Chancellor, Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya. Please give a big hand to her to welcome her. So it's indeed our privilege and honor to welcome ma'am. Hence I request Dr. Nitin Tatel to welcome Dr. Renu Jain, Honorable Vice Chancellor, DAVV. तालियों का शोर दूर तक होना चाहिए. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We have another special guest with us, Mr. Mrityunjay, who is Circle Head, Punjab National Bank. So again, I would request Dr. Prateek Sharma to welcome Mr. Mrityunjay. Please, sir. Please give a big hand. Thank you, sir. Thank you. To welcome another guest, Sri Ramesh Jain, who is Head International Operations Prestige Group. May I request Dr. Nitin Gadkari Kubal to please welcome him. Please, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I now take this opportunity to introduce our chief guest of the day, Dr. Renu Jain, Honorable Vice Chancellor with the August gathering. So let me play the AV now.
Professor Dr. Renu Jain, Vice Chancellor, Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. Dr. Renu Jain is an inspirational woman who had started her academic journey as a lecturer, promoted to reader, later designated as a coordinator, head and professor, and presently holds the title of a Vice Chancellor at the Xviii Indore. Dr. Renu Jain obtained her BSc degree, MSc degree and awarded with UGC Junior Research Fellowship for pursuing her PhD in Mathematics from Xviii University, Gwalior. Dr. Renu was awarded with the Nehru Centenary British Fellowship for working as a postdoctoral fellow in London. Dr. Jain's research interests include light theory and special functions, fractional calculus, and the mathematical modeling of biological and ecological systems. Under her supervision, many scholars have been awarded PhD and MPhil degrees. She has organized several conferences, workshops, symposia and delivered invited lectures as a resource person. Dr. Jain has numerous publications in the form of books, research papers, edited chapters, etc. is an additional exquisiteness to her research profile. Dr. Renu Jain is a life member of academic societies, member of editorial board and reviewer of various national and international journals. We welcome you, ma'am.
मैम आपसे निवेदन है कृपया आप यहाँ आए और हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें.
हाँ है ना.
Good morning. आप सभी को नमस्कार to all present over here. At the outset, I apologize for being late, and at the same time, I thank you for starting the conference at the scheduled time. Honorable guests, including today's guest of honor and awardee of PIMR Eminent Academician Award, Dr. Dennis Veni, Dr. Dennis Vini, Dr. Raja Rai Chaudhary, Dr. Mrityunjay Kumar, Shri Parikshit Vaidya, Dr. Devish Jain, and other honorable guests on the dais, all distinguished speakers of the conference, all faculty members, research scholars, students, and all enthusiastic participants in the present 18th International Conference on Transforming Management Practices and processes for economic development and social welfare. At the outset, I congratulate the management and faculty members of Prestige Institute of Management Research for their strong academic commitment, concern and dedication for continuously organizing these conferences. I think this is 18th in the series. I also take this opportunity to congratulate PIMR for being accredited with A++ grade by NET. This is very prestigious. The theme of the present conference is very much relevant in view of the fast-growing economy and self-sustainability of our nation. As we all are aware that this 21st century pandemic is creating a paradigm shift in almost every sector of human life, be it health, economy, business or education. Particularly the management education has undergone several transformations as it is instrumental for economic and sustainable development. The new management practices, everywhere we have observed this transformation, that they aim to develop intellectual capacities and besides that moral capabilities and human values to thrive in the globalized world. The focus of management practices has changed. For them now, the humans come first and financial points or other business practice comes afterwards. Today's managers have become more sensitive, more concerned, more humane and are also looking for emotional quotient instead of intelligence quotient as we usually used to do. Preparing potentially efficient managers who can lead the nation to the higher level commensurate with the global demand of economic development and social welfare is the need of the hour. In the present knowledge era, the centers of academic excellence, just like this one, need to integrate innovative research skills in various disciplines to enhance learning and understanding experiences in all domains of human existence to improve the quality of life. Research in general not only creates new knowledge and insights, but also imparts excitement and a sense of achievement. If it is not there, I think the research is not successful. Research culture and academic integrity needs to be promoted among faculty and students. We have to be very careful in this as far as plagiarism is concerned. We have to be very careful. The present day demand is, I think, we have to involve technological involvement in all our processes, in like logistics and other supply chain management things. So incorporating technological innovations in management practices can have solutions to various problems confronting modern world. The alternate energy like hydrogen is an effective green alternative for portable power, particularly for vehicles. The solar energy has a potential to revolutionize society through its vast applications in electricity generation, water heating, transportation, lighting and many more. Photonics, the technology of generating, harnessing and transmitting light. This is also very emerging with technology and this can also play a major role in this direction through its various applications in telecommunications, medicine, material processing, energy harvesting, etc. The success story of the Unified Payment Interface, as you all must be knowing, pioneered by India, UPI, which is pioneered by India, is an example of how Indian solutions have the potential to come to the aid of the world and a vibrant startup ecosystem in the country as an evidence that the sky is the limit as far as the youth are concerned. Another ray of hope for economic development lies in MSME, which stands for micro, small and medium enterprises. And of course in startups. In a developing country like India, MSME industries are the backbone of the economy. India is currently ranked third globally in its fintech strength after the USA and China. As of October 2022, India had more than 80,000 recognized startups across over 660 districts. So this is a sector where the several hopes lie. It is a matter of great pride and pleasure that our country India has been entrusted with the responsibility of presidency of G20 nations. It is a great responsibility and requires several forums for showcasing the visiting G20 members the rapid, inclusive developmental progress that our nation is going through. One of such programs is University Connect, through which students from universities across India will be engaged in creating awareness about the importance of G20 presidency and will tell the world how our country can be a role model for the sustainable development with peace and harmony. Recently, we had also organized a lecture series in this University Connect program. Recently, we also had the Pravasi Bharati Divas कार्यक्रम and we all participated in that. I would like also, every time whenever I speak, I mention this point because we are ignoring our interconnectedness with nature. The perils of ignoring our interconnectedness with nature has resulted into onset of such pandemics, climate change and global warming. In this pandemic era, the Gandhian way of life has assumed greater significance. This way of Gandhian way emphasizes on a sort of minimalistic lifestyle. Our needs should be limited to bare necessities only. His slogan, "Har haath ko kaam, har haath ko roti." This has become even more relevant now because everyone needs a job. It lays emphasis on accessibility of resources to every person of the society. A very well-known Gandhian quote is that there is sufficient on earth for the need of every person, but not sufficient for the need of a single person. So, therefore, every person of this slogan lays emphasis on the accessibility of resources to every person of the society and their optimum utilization. Therefore, the focus of our research should be how to make the life on earth thrive and sustain without harming our environment, including forests, rivers and mountains. Whenever we pass through from, usually I have to go from Indore to Bhopal on important visits. So I always see the little hillocks have been smashed away. There is nothing is left on that. This has all become plain. And yesterday I went to another attend a program in Jhabua, which is used to have its thick forest cover. All the hillocks, all the hills are plain now. No vegetation at all. So now today itself, they are going to have a very important practice called Halma. So thousands of people are collecting there to dig some sort of trenches, so that whenever rains are there, so water will be filled and then only vegetation can be grown there. The plantation can be done there. So it is so painful to see all those things. With these words, another important point I would like to mention is that whatever research we do, it should have some relevance to the society. Our thesis should not be kept only in the closed shelves of the library. The summary of our findings must be presented in a form where it can be utilized by concerned academic and administrative forums, which can lead to designing the policies for welfare of the society. With these words, I wish all the participants a great success and sincerely hope that the deliberations and discussions during the brainstorming sessions will prove to be very fruitful and beneficial for you, and a new insight for addressing social and current issues will be developed. This will also lead to realize our dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat. With these words, thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
माननीय डॉक्टर रेणु जैन जी, आपके मार्गदर्शन के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत आभार। मैं ये बोलना चाहूंगी कि आप नारी शक्ति के एक खूबसूरत उदाहरण हैं और आप सिर्फ विमेन के लिए नहीं बल्कि हम सब के लिए एक प्रेरणा स्रोत हैं। सिंपल लिविंग एंड हाई थिंकिंग, कंसर्न फॉर द एनवायरनमेंट एंड अडॉप्टिंग द गार्डियन वे एंड येट फोकस ऑन द मीनिंगफुल रिसर्च, ये सभी चीजें जो आज हमको गाइड करी हैं, उसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच। I would now request Dr. S. Raman Iyer, Director, PMR, UG Campus, for the conduction of a award ceremony.
Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Devesh Jain sir, respected Vice Chancellor, DAVV, Dr. Renu Jain Madam, our invited dignitaries, leaders of Prestige Group, my eminent faculty members, and dear students. Leadership is all about identifying and nurturing the leaders. Leaders for success, leaders for outcome, leaders for change, leaders for compassion, and leaders for leading the leaders. Over the year, Prestige Group has been doing this precisely. From a humble beginning, Dr. Nemnath Jain sir and his son, Dr. Devesh Jain sir, have been growing a vast empire, all-inclusive Prestige Group that has impacted the farmers on the one hand and students on the other hand. Prestige Group can well boost itself of a large network of professionals, well-connected regionally, nationally and globally. In our academic pursuit, we have been conducting such international conferences for more than 18 times. And this 18th event also culminates with honoring the winners among the leaders. Among the august body of these luminaries, I like to convey the best of the best leaders being honored by Prestige Institute of Management and Research. The first is Dr. Dennis Wink. Give a big hand to Dennis Wink, sir. Dr. Dennis Wink is known internationally for his contribution to financial management and valuation. And very recently, sir, we also know you for not letting us wink a minute during your workshop conducted last 3 days. Sir is an expert in financial management, in valuation, and has his master's in PhD with almost 10 years of practical experience. He is a member of American Financial Association, European Financial Association, Midwest Financial Association, and now Prestige Financial Association. My dear friends, today we have the honor of giving him the award as Eminent Academician Award of PMR. I call upon my chairman to kindly honor him. Before that, kindly over to the AE.
Dr. Dennis Wink, Professor, Finance and Investment at Nairobi Business University. Dr. Wink holds a significant position at Nairobi's Faculty Research Center for Corporate Reporting, Finance and Tax. Dr. Wing holds a Master of Science degree in Financial Management from Nairobi Business University and subsequently obtained his PhD degree. Furthermore, additional training was followed through the Tilburg PhD program in Finance and Cambridge Judge Business School. Dr. Wing completed the General Management program at Harvard Business School. Sir is a member of the American Finance Association, European Finance Association, European Financial Management Association, and Midwest Finance Association. Dr. Wing is the author of various academic papers that focus on empirical research in financial markets. His work is published in high-quality international academic journals such as the European Journal of Finance, the Journal of Structured Finance, Finance Research Letters, the Journal of Fixed Income, and the European Financial Management Journal. Dr. Wing has co-authored 3 books in the area of financial management with Martin Redendin. Besides, he is invited as a resource person at various institutions in different parts of the world. We welcome you, sir.
I request Dr. Renu Jain, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Davis Jain, to please proceed with the award conferment ceremony. Please, sir. Malik. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand for the conferment of CIMI Eminent Academician Award. Many congratulations to you, sir. May I now request you to kindly address us with your words of wisdom. Please, sir. Dennis, sir.
पर्सनली और एक दो यहाँ के भी
Hello? Yeah. Dear guests, faculty, students, Dr. Davis Jain, Chairman, and of course Dr. Devalis Malik for inviting me to this conference. I'm honored to be here. You need to understand, I'm from the more Nordic regions of the European area. So I'm from Holland. And the celebration is quite new for people like us. And you need to understand that celebration and talking about your achievements is in the Nordic area a little bit sometimes uncomfortable, or we don't tend to do that. So, but I'm extremely honored that I'm here, and of course sometimes I see my achievements. How did I do all of that? So I'm very happy that that I have this be able to attend this ceremony as somebody from Holland, because we're not used to that. So I'm extremely honored to be able to be part of this. I think 3 years ago I was actually keynote for Shell, and I was invited keynote, and they thought I'm going to talk about a very positive way about Shell. And everybody was there, all the financials were there, the board, the executive committee was there, everybody was there. I had some positive points about Shell, but I also had some we call it tips. For example, I said, I think you should do more about sustainability. And I think you should should less pay money to shareholders and put more money in your renewable energy strategy, because hopefully in 2050 you can become the largest renewable energy player in the world. So actually I said, you need to stop doing all of this. Now, you need to understand they were not happy, but this is who I am. So I think this also gives you like a little bit of a view of what I'm going to talk about in the next 10 minutes. I don't only have positive things about India, I'm extremely positive about the economy, but I also have tips. Yeah, so if you think, well, Dennis, why does he give us tips? Because I think from a European area I can just give you my view on how I think India should be developing and make the country stronger. So I'm simply going to give you my view. Okay, so in my keynote, I'm going to give you my view on the economy of India and what I think the growth is going to look like and challenges faced by the country. Let me first start by describing you a little bit how I see from a European perspective the country India, from an economic perspective obviously. I think we have two kinds of words for economy. We have developed and we have mixed. If you look about the developed economy, it's, let's call it in economic terms, still developing. But you could of course ask yourself the question, what is developed economy? Is it an economy with a high GDP? Is it an economy where there's income equality? Is there an economy where there's no corruption? So it's all the definition about what you think is developed and what you think is not developed and what you think is important. India, on the certain hand, is a mixed economy, which also means that you have public and you have private enterprises. Like I said, the Indian economy is growing very fast. If I look at the breakdown of the economy, you have an agriculture sector, industrial sector, as well as the service sector, which is expanding and improving and contributing to its economic growth, which also has been pointed out by some of my esteemed colleagues. But just like other countries, the economy in India is also faced with numerous challenges. And as said, I'm simply looking at it from my own view and my own perspective. Some of the major challenges faced by the Indian economy are illiteracy, poverty, and large cultural, social, and economical disparity among its states. Nevertheless, I think efficient political leaders over the years who played a major role in the independence of India took charge of the condition and worked collectively on its social economic progress. The government of India actually assessed problematic areas and came up with policies to raise its economy. That's how I see it from my perspective. Looking at the government's role in the economic growth, I think the majority of the working Indian population was and is still engaged in the agriculture sector. Providing fair wages for the laborers and providing enough means of livelihood to the people were some of the policies laid by the government for the country's economic growth. The government, to speak further about that, also promoted the growth of small and large-scale industry, as it's understood that agriculture alone would not be able to help in the country's economic growth. Large number of people shifted from the agriculture sector to the industrial sector in an attempt to earn a better and make a better living. Well, the examples are numerous. So you have industries, for example, in pharmaceutical, iron, steel, chemical, textile, automotive industry, timber, paper. You have a lot of industries where India has a very strong market position and a very strong contribution to economic growth. Not to forget the rise of great educational institutions who empower people and contribute to the well-being of so many people, but not only in a region, but also across India and beyond. For example, our beloved institution that we're here now for. So in conclusion, this is just like a description of what's coming next. In conclusion, I would say that the Indian economy has seen many positive changes since its independence. It's growing at a very fast pace. However, the rural region of India needs to be the focus of further development. And a government, I think, must make efforts to improve the economic and social conditions of these areas. Let's have a look at, obviously I'm telling you nothing new. I think I'm just trying to share with you my view on how I see India and how it's going to develop. I think what is more interesting is where India or how the world is going to look like in 2050. Of course, after a year of turmoil in the market, financial crises, political conflicts, energy conflicts, it's very difficult to look and to predict what the future is going to lie ahead of us. However, I still think that we can, give it a try and try to have a look at what the future would look like and how India would need to involve in that. If we look at basic economics of growth, it's telling us that we need, the fundamental drivers of growth are demographics and productivity, which in turn is driven by technology, progress, and through investments. But besides, and it's also been said by my fellow colleagues, this is not the only factor of growth. The other factor of growth is social welfare, in which equality is very, very important, if not even more important to grow a country than its financials. Let's have a look at some future highlights about the world and how it's going to be resolved. In 2100, we have 9 billion people on the planet. Yeah, we have 9 billion people on the planet. Of the 9 billion people on the planet, we have 2 billion people living in poverty. We have, in Holland at least, I looked it up, 68% of the Dutch population have overweight, okay, because of poor diet. And that's only in Holland. I probably assume that in more countries it's going to be the same thing. Even though I'm not sure if India is also going to have this, because your food is like very amazing and healthy, so I don't know. In Holland we have these sausages and meat and everything, McDonald's here, Burger King there. That's something I think your food and diet is much better than what we have in our country. Okay, so 25% of the population in 2100 is older than 65 years old. And we are going to have a 1.5 temperature rise. What else is going to happen is that in 2050, the economy is going to be twice the size of what we have now. Now, this is very interesting also from the perspective of India. The emerging markets will continue to be, of course, the growth engine of the economy. By 2050, the E7 economies have increased their share of world GDP from 35 to almost 50% of the world. China is going to be the largest one, with India in second place, accounting for about 20% of world GDP in 2050. Okay? So India is going to have the contribution of India to the world GDP in 2050, according to some statistics, is going to be 20%, 1/5, which is a lot. Meanwhile, the European area, the contribution of the GDP is going to be less than 10% by 2050. So you can see already in shift of GDP how the world and the politics is going to change, move from the West more to the Indian-Asian area, just purely based on statistics. So I would guess that India is definitely one of the fastest growing economies over this period. Now, to realize this growth potential, my view is that India needs to implement some reforms to improve macroeconomic stability. Also, number 2, diversify your economy away from reliance on traditional fossil fuel. And where this is, of course, currently the case. Develop, of course, infrastructure and actively engage to reduce income inequality. I think from these 4 challenges that I just mentioned, structural reforms, fossil fuel, develop infrastructure, and actively engage to reduce income inequality, I think there are 2 most important. Number 1, I would say, just from the 4, just take 2 and just go and talk a little bit more about 2 of them. I think governments need to make efforts to tackle climate change and align growth with long-term sustainability. Like said, diversify the country and rely more on sustainable energy in-house. Okay, what does it mean in-house? Everybody knows that you need to focus more on sustainable energy and renewable energy, and that's like a no-brainer. I understand. But what we see in the Western European countries is that most of the renewable energy and also fossil fuel and most energy are being manufactured by a few players. Okay? And I think, from my opinion, that's not good. Because resources are getting more scarce. It would be much better that in case of India, you have your own resources. That you're not dependent, of ownership in Europe, or you're not dependent of ownership in the United States, or Chinese companies owning your energy resources. So in other words, to make this more sustainable, you should be able to develop and own your own renewable energy resources. And if I look really, have a forward-looking view on this, but it's my point of view, I actually think that the government should have a controlling stake in these entities. Don't let it go managed by shareholders or something else, because at the end of the day, you are going to risk your activities, and you also have the risk of losing your resources to another company or maybe another country, and you simply don't have it anymore. So in other words, to sustain the economy, my suggestion would be to sustain your own energy, which is supported by the government. Number two, and that's the last one. We should not underestimate the perceived impact on the economy and social welfare in increasing income inequality and weakening social cohesion. Today's economy in India will continue to have higher average incomes. Most of you have already experienced it. That's definitely true. And by 2050, in general, emerging economies should make good progress towards closing the gap. But there was one thing. India remains near the bottom, according to some statistics. India's GDP per capita trajectory over the next 27 years is different to its overall GDP progression. So the GDP is going to be really huge, no doubt about that. But the GDP per capita per person, still stays at the bottom according to some statistics. So in other words, it can be quite a challenge to boost average income levels. So the path to grow, from my view, is that India must ensure that the potential benefits of globalization are shared more equally across society in order to sustain growth. Yes? This poses, in my opinion, the real policy challenge across India and beyond. Now, in closure, so what to do? I think in the face of getting rid of facing inequality in India, I think government is required to ensure the benefits of growth and share more broadly across society. In particularly, they need to support education and lifelong learning to create a vibrant, dynamic and happy workforce. According to statistics, this is one of the key drivers of reducing income equality. Now, if it is education there's a path to move India forward, it is needless to say that the family Jain are true visionaries when they established the prestige academic institution and developed it further over time to what it is now. Education for young and old, whether it is engineering, law, management, the school provides. Dr. Nemla Jain and Dr. Dafi Jain did an incredible, almost impossible task to grow an academic institution of this size and build an ecosystem that's an example for many, many academic institutions worldwide. Hard work, dedication, and love for society are the building blocks to move the country and this institution forward. My gratitude goes to the family Jain to allow me to have this speech and contribute to your school. I wish you all the best for the future and grow your academic aspirations. Thank you very much. I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your thought-provoking and enriching session. Your insights on the challenges faced by the Indian economy to the path that you have suggested for the growth of Indian economy and social welfare, focusing on in-house sustainable energy will definitely going to help the researchers. Thank you so much once again for your session. Thank you. And sir, we are honestly very happy to hear that you liked our Indian hospitality. You may have to visit India again. Yeah. Thank you. Alright, so now it's the time to play the AV of Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary.
Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary, CEO, Darwin Platform Group of Companies. Dr. Chaudhary has served as a director at various renowned institutions like Universal Business School Mumbai, Institute for Future Education, Entrepreneurship and Leadership Mumbai, NL Dalmia Institute of Management and Research Mumbai, International Faculty and Director in Professional and Doctorate Programs, SP Jain School of Global Management Mumbai and other leading universities. Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary is a holder of dual doctoral degrees in economics and psychology and is certified by Harvard and Yale University. Sir has diversified experience of more than 33 years and proven credentials in business and technology consulting and performance management, executive coaching and mentoring, holding multiple certifications in all facets of behavioral health and cognitive psychology. Dr. Raja Roy has been conferred with several awards. His notable achievements include Best CEO of the Year 2022 by Outlook Magazine and News 24, Best Director B Schools, the Mother Teresa Excellence Award, International Gold Star Award, and many more. Sir has graced the occasion of various institutes as a keynote speaker and is invited as a guest faculty in renowned institutions like IIT, NITIE, SPJIMR. Sir is the author of more than 15 books on topics related to effective stress control, psychology of adjustment, sports psychology, personality development, behavioral modification. Sir has more than 80 publications in international journals, national, UGC and Scopus Index and conferences. From you, sir.
I now request Dr. S. Ramanaya to conduct the award ceremony. Please.
Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary, in recognition of his futuristic and forward-looking leadership across the organizations, for his global experience and spirit of striving through adversity, for successfully leading the Darwin Group of Companies, which is $8.4 billion strong, and lastly, for his academic and administrative competence to build institutions and nurture them for their growth. Prestige Institute of Management Excellence Award is conferred upon Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary. I call upon our Chancellor to kindly bestow the award.
I request the Honorable Vice Chancellor ma'am and all the dignitaries to kindly please do the honor, please. Sir, please. I think we need to cheer because this award is PMR Management Excellence Award. congratulations to you, sir. I request Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary to please address us with his rich speech.
So it's afternoon time. A very good afternoon to all of you. When I was coming to Indore, my good old friend and younger brother Debashish, he gave me a topic, transferring management practices and processes for economic development and social welfare. I did spend a sleepless night to work on it. So after 2 years of taking a sabbatical from the academic world, the professor in me rose that night. It disturbed my children, it disturbed my wife. They were more curious to know what has happened to this madman. I said, I'm just trying to bring an element of method in my madness. So I did draft a 10-page note and I showed it to my wife. She said, have you ever in your life, in 34 years of professional existence, delivered a lecture or spoke to people by reading through papers? I said, no, in academics, you better carry some weight, otherwise look bhoni denge. So today, instead of really spending a lot of deliberation on the topic, I would like to speak on something because there are a lot of young students and there are great faculty here. With your permission, respected Davish sir, if I can say something, I'll speak my heart. Is it fine? Because I can only speak my heart and I can only speak the truth. So I'll go back to 1987. And I was making an attempt to start my career like all typical middle-class Bengali parents those days. My parents were also curious. What will the son do after he has done his economics? So I did get an invitation to go for an interview. And I'm only ashamed to take the name. It was Lovelock Lewis. And as a young guy those days, I felt I did a reasonably good job in wearing a borrowed tie from my dad that day and facing the interview. And I was made to wait. And I was also told that you are waiting because you have to carry your appointment letter back home. So I was very happy. First interview in life, and I'm getting a job. And those days we had no cell phones. So I was eagerly waiting to go back home and share the news with my parents. And after waiting for 3 hours, I was told, you better go home because somebody who came with reference from the management has got selected. I was not prepared for rejection. First interview seemed to be a good opportunity and you get rejected. So if you are a winner, you have to embrace rejection. Now I'll cut this train and come to 2007, straight, 20 years. I was in South Pacific, based out of Sydney. I think I did a fairly good job in being the most successful CEO those days in the entire South Pacific. It's very difficult when you work in Australia, being a colored man from India, and that too, wearing a mantle of a CEO, people just don't accept you. So I stopped wearing jackets and I hit the road with my sales team because that's the best thing I could do. And because my numbers were very big, nobody could dare to challenge me. But competition had other ideas. They wanted to terminate me from Mother Earth. So a lot of challenges I had to weather. My young daughters, that time I had only 2 daughters, they were young. Wife was there, not prepared when your house gets ransacked,
when your wife gets chased when she is driving, when there's an attempt to pick up my eldest daughter from school, just to frighten me. So my family decided, enough, you go back. And that was the month we were mulling it over, that how we will pack up and what are the goods you leave. There were a lot of things that we had bought as family, so you have to let go. You need to really have power to let go. So I was learning a lot of things those days. And I saw an ad in the Park Straits newspaper that an unwed girl would like to give away her child who is yet to be born. So I applied. I went to the missionary. I met the lady who runs it. I said, I'm 44, I'm a father of 2 daughters, and I would like to take the child. The child is not born. I said, fine. Oh, you are keen to take a boy? I said, nothing of that sort. I would like to take the child. So again there was rejection. I was 44, oldest among the list of people who were looking for the child to be born. I was number 7. So again I felt I wanted to do a noble job, that too I can't be a topper. The child was born. I was not aware. It was about 5 months. The child had no epidermis, no hair. The mother left the child was not breastfed. And the missionary called me and said, the first 6 fathers to be rejected because they can't have a child like that. Will you? So it is because of people's rejection I accepted the child. I took the child, handed over to my wife. She called her Anandini. Today she is 16. In 2 days she will sit for ICSE exams. Today if you see her, she is very tall, strong, lot of hair, raring to go. She sprints the 100 meters. But it was rejection. So it was this guy, Debashish, who brought me out from the corporate world. You know, I was very attached to the role of being a managing director or CEO of companies, running businesses. And he said in 2013, you know, Roger, you had enough. You come out. So whatever you have learned in life, try to deliver to the young people. And it was his perseverance I joined SPJMR. And I committed to myself, you know, no more tags, no more CEO giri. I want to be a professor and I would love to be with students. I think I did a fairly good job in being very close to students, and I enjoyed the process. Though it was a heart attack when the first month's salary came to me, not used to the academic world. But I learned the tricks of the trade. I understood that whatever I have learned, I can give it back to the society. And something I learned from one of my gurus in SPJ, that when you deliver a lecture and you come out into the corridor, if you have 5 guys hearing you, you have arrived. So, and he said, don't teach, do storytelling. So that was like a mool mantra in life. But business had other plans. I started shifting B schools because nobody wanted the Professor Pyarelal. Everybody wanted somebody who can maximize profit. So from a 1.5 year of professional teaching obscurity, I became directors of B school. And then I said to myself, 2 years back, I was getting ready to go to Jain University in Bangalore. It was COVID time. The wife never wanted to let me go during COVID time. She said, you are so incompetent a man, you can't even boil water. What will you do without me? Women are very powerful, okay? And I said, I have no takers. Somebody has to take me. So it was during that juncture of life, COVID was coming to an end, And I was trying to rise up that do I stay in Bombay or I move to a new place like Bangalore? It was during that time I got this opportunity. I was invited by this Darwin Platform group of companies to join them and to lead their businesses, the new age businesses. It usually doesn't happen in India that you move from corporate to academics and from academics back to corporate. It happens in the Western world. It doesn't happen in India. People just don't accept you. So at the fag end of my life, at 58, it was not rejection, it was acceptance. So in life, we need to learn how to embrace rejection. And young people, you need to be battle ready. You need to be hardened. Because the world will only say no. They will not take any excuse to say no. It will come automatically. You need to be prepared to convert a no into a yes. Incidentally, I had a great meeting in the evening with Dr. Davish Jain, and I learned a lot about him and his family, the legendary, visionary Padma Shri, and then Jain ji, his life, how he has turned tables, how he has fought challenges in life and overcome. And before I hit the bed last night, I wanted to make some notes. So I'm going to share my experience in that evening conversation with him. As an institution, whether you realize or not, I think you stand on 4 pillars, or you can call it being management gurus, 4 mantras of visionary leadership or new age leadership. Point number 1, I think there is a shift in mindset from a fixed mindset to a changing or a growth mindset. And this is what the leader has inculcated in his group or in his institution. So that's a very strong point for the Prestige Group. Point number 2, and which I would love to see in this organization, is culture. It's all about culture, and it's a top-down approach. And culture in the long run will eat strategy for breakfast. Actually, it will eat strategy for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So strategies don't work. It's the culture. And right from the doorman to the chairman, the organization should epitomize culture. That's your richness. Point number 3, I think when I entered the PG campus, I had the smell of the forest, something I shared with you, sir, that I felt good. Being a psychologist, it takes me 2 minutes to dissect an environment, or maybe at times individuals. And don't be afraid. I'm mostly blind these 2 days. So when we talk about the smell of the forest, I go back to my younger days when my father used to take me to our native place during the mango season. And before you hit the mango plantation, 1 kilometer from there, you'll feel the mango tree, leaves lying on the floor. And if you pick up one of the leaves and you smell the forest. I think I smelled the forest here when I entered, and then when I met people, and finally when I met Dr. Jain. And last but not the least, which I felt very good and I felt humble, is that he has a sense of purpose in being authentic. I think leaders need to ooze deep authenticity. And that is something which should ricochet down the organization to each and every person. Anywhere you look, you find authenticity. That's the hallmark of a great organization. What is Prestige going to be famous for? It needs to have a USP. It will differentiate itself from the rest of the people. Is Prestige selling products? No, everybody else sells products. You have 8 programs, somebody will have 80 programs. So selling product, no big deal. Selling services, you go to the Marriott lounge, you'll find, oh, it's a wow effect. Is that what we are selling? I'm sorry, we are not doing it. So we are neither selling products, we are not selling services. Are we selling a dream? Dreams are not nightmares. They'll have a great ending. Kajal will hug Shah Rukh at the end of the movie. So we are not selling products, we are not selling services, we are not selling dreams. What are we selling as an organization? We are selling a promise of a great future. You walk into Prestige and walk into the great future. I think that's the challenge which we need to have for each one of the student incumbent who walks into the organization, for each faculty. You know, most of the time when we hold events and conferences, we thank students for participation, we thank faculty for participation and their contribution. What about the academic people, the academic administrative people, or pure administrative people? They burn the midnight oil to make the event happen. Seldom we mention them. So I think that's inclusiveness. We need to include each and every one. And that is something which is very important. I was listening to what Dr. Jain was talking about in the morning about the giant strides the country is making under the stewardship or leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. I think it's very important for us to understand that whatever we do, can we increase the QOL, quality of life, in each and every person. I think that is something which is sacrosanct. As an organization, that is very, very, very important for each one of us. I mean, I just spent the night, I felt humble, I felt good, I felt a lot of positivity, a lot of energy. I felt I'm over the hill. I was just talking to my wife last night that they are very nice people. And she told me, you learn to be nice too. So, you know, I have been traveling all over the world. I go to US, to Northeastern University to deliver lectures in the month of March. But I think this oneness is something which I felt very, very good. The evening session yesterday was maybe a bit stressful for most of you after a tiring day, but it gave me a lot of energy when I saw I could see a lot of positivity in your eyes, a lot of hope, and it's with hope which we live. You know, in my life, I have been blessed with opportunities of coming across a lot of people in academic life and in corporate life who believed in me. That belief factor made me take giant strides in life. I never shirked away from responsibilities. So, as an organization, I take pride in representing the Darwin Platform Group. It's a very young and dynamic group. The chairman is just 41 years old. It's a very cash-rich company, no debts. And we wanted to multiply into various verticals. So one of the most important verticals which we got into was hydrocarbons or oil and gas. We managed to bag 4 contracts from ONGC, which is onshore, 1 from the Ministry of Petroleum and Gas, which is offshore, which needs a lot of trained people from the engineering fraternity. We need a lot of people who will work on sustainability, corporate governance, health hazards. These are all related with the business. Then a year back, we bid for Lavasa Smart City in between Mumbai and Pune, and we won the bid. So Lavasa, 24,000 acres, belongs to us, which means we need a lot of people to make the infrastructure happen. And we need trained people. The third challenge which was in front of us was in defense. We wanted to get into defense not to show anybody that we are in defense because XYZ is in defense. We wanted to get into defense because we were very specific about our Make in India drive. So we committed to that, we made a presentation, we had a leading Big Four consulting company join hands with us in our efforts, and we won from the Chief Minister of UP, the Defense Corridor, Uttar Pradesh, a 5,009 crore financial outlay in defense, which will again need at least 100,000 people at the very first phase. So we are talking about drones, we are talking about MROs, we are talking about ITS park only for defense, and we are talking about molecular nanotechnology based body jackets, and which is that we would like to gift it. The drone, a 30 kg drone for the Indian Army, first of its kind, is getting launched in the next 7 days. We would like to gift it to the Prime Minister and then seek his blessings on how do we take it forward. As an organization, during COVID times, we employed directly or indirectly 34,000 people in India. When everybody was shutting shop, people were not getting paid, or people were getting lesser pay, we wanted to help people directly. We employed people in our financial intermediation business. We have about 3 lakh plus force on the field, and that, which means if you multiply by 4, you serve 12 lakh people in the country. We have earmarked a mission. In the next 5 years, 4 million people will get employed by the Darwin Group, directly or indirectly, with a base figure of 20,000. I think the organization aspires to raise the bar. That's why quality of life is so important for us. And an institution like this, 25 years plus, growing exponentially, people should, you don't have to do social media marketing to get people join this program. It should happen by default. People should know, yes, in this place there is one name. And with Prestige, they will come to Prestige. I think that is something which is very, very, very important. I see academic scholars like Dr. Malik, whom I know for so many years, as part of this institution, which will signal very good news. You can welcome a lot of very good talent into this institution in the near future, because you need talent. And talent breeds talent. If you tell me I have 50 faculties and that's enough, that's not enough. Because you are growing by leaps and bounds. And you need a lot of people. You need a lot of movement from, positive movement from the industry. Industry should come with open hands to help you. Industry should have practice professors here. Faculty should go to the industry and do faculty internships, India International. That's the challenge. That should catch the psychophancy of every person who is joining the institution. I mean, in my company, I have a lot of people working in the corporate field, about 278 people in the corporate office. I mean, no matter how busy I am, I spend quality time meeting each and every person and introducing myself. Each and every person, because that is something very important, because I am responsible for their welfare. That is something very important. And suddenly, you know, and something I learned from Xviii yesterday. What is the difference between a professional and an entrepreneur? A professional comes well dressed, big degrees, fantastic, well dressed CVs, which talks a lot about what they have done. Okay? And a professional will have an entry and will have an exit also. Because the moment the weather is not conducive, he'll call it quits. An entrepreneur cannot come and tell you, you know, beta, I'm not going to come to office from tomorrow. He doesn't have any option. So the moment the professional steps into an entrepreneur's shoes, that is growth sign for an organization. You can't have an exit. And this is something, after a very long time, I might be advocating this in public forums. But my 41-year-old chairman, Ajay Harinath Singh, told me, sir, you can't leave me, you have to die. I think that's something which is very, very, very important. He might have spoken about it in a lighter vein, but that's very true. I took it to my heart. Yes, I'll do something. Yes, I have the luxury after 2 years to come back to academics, spend a lot of quality time all over the world. That's the greatness of him, because I happen to be the face. I had a lot of hopes. I turned 60 this time, and I told my wife that, I'm 60 now, I'll retire, I'll call it quits, I'll take life lightly, and I'll take you for long rides. So she said, will you utter the same thing after 24 hours? I came back and I said, I'm sorry, I have to go to Russia. She said, what is going to happen? I said, no, I'm going to start the war. And we went to Russia. So she came and told me, don't ever commit to your wife like this, which you can't kill. And then she told me, I'll take you to a movie. So I went to that movie. And that was a night show. So it was Unchai. She said, see the man, 80 years old, scaling new heights. You at 60, you're going to die. So I said, oh, that's a learning for me. So from that day onwards, I pledged to myself, now I'll dabble with two things. Corporate academics. Corporate, because I have a responsibility towards my organization, I have a responsibility towards my society. But when it comes to academics, I have a responsibility towards nation. The new academic policy, the new education policy is ushering in a new wave. That's going to be far-breaking, revolutionary. You'll find a lot of people from corporate coming, joining hands with you. It is going to happen. You don't have to invite a corporate head honcho only on events or certain occasions. They will voluntarily offer their services. I think this is a responsibility we have, and we need to create young minds and set those minds on fire. I think with these few words, I would conclude, because I think the rest of the show is there. I had worked on a 7-page note. I'll share it with Dr. Malik, and he can share with all of you, which talks about the particular topic. Not a bad job done. Okay? Thank you. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Your life is an inspiration to all of us. And with your powerful storytelling, you inspired us in such a way that we actually lost the track of time. And we actually wanted to hear you on and on and on and on. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. Please give a big hand for it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm happy to share that Prestige Institute of Management and Research Indore, as you know, is a recognized research center with 50+ research drives. We are also happy to announce that more than 130 research students have been awarded PhD under the PhD PIMR Center. Today, we would like to felicitate all the scholars who have received PhD notifications this year. So, we have a long list. Around 8 different students from PIMR have been awarded PhD this year. So first of all, I would like to invite Ms. Deepika Kapoor. Ms. Deepika Kapoor with the topic Study of Buying Behavior in Apparel Retail Sector in India. She was a scholar under Dr. Mayank Saxena and Dr. Alok Bansal. I request all the dignitaries to please award PhD notification to her. Please give a big hand for her. Thank you, and congratulations to you, Deepika. Please have a seat. Though we have 7 more scholars here, but they are attending this conference online, so I'll just go through their names. We would like to felicitate them. Mr. Umang Mehta, Ms. Ruchi Jain, Ms. Anjali Pathak, Mr. Rahul Chaudhary, Ms. Ankita Mishra, and Mr. Lokesh Pulke, and Ms. Divya Juneja as well. Sure, I'll take. So we already had Dr. Deepika Kapoor. I'm sorry I missed saying Deepika in front of you. I know it's so hardly earned. So Dr. Deepika, please give a big hand once again for all of you. Dr. Umang Mehta, Dr. Ruchi Jain, Dr. Anjali Pathak, Dr. Rahul Chaudhary, Dr. Ankita Mishra, Dr. Lokesh, Dr. Divya Juneja. So many congratulations to all these PhD awardees. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Prestige always believes in motivating and recognizing its faculty members for their efforts and contribution towards research and innovation. We are so proud and happy to announce that our faculty members have been able to publish various research papers in Scopus, Web of Science and ADBC listed journals. So let's clap for all the faculty members first of all. I would now like to call all those faculty members one by one and again request all the dignitaries to please honor them with the certificates and the prize amount. So first of all, I would like to invite Dhara Jain, Dr. Sachin Mittal and Dr. Vipin Chaudhary for their paper published in Scopus and ADBC C category. The title is Modeling Stock Market Return Volatility, Gauge Evidence from Nifty Reality Index. Please give a big hand to them. All right. I would now like to call upon Dr. Pratima Jain to please come on the stage and receive the award. Please, ma'am. Dr. Pratima Jain, ma'am. Next, I would request Dr. Rupal Chaudhary. Again, Dr. Rupal Chaudhary and Isha Joshi. Please come on the stage. Dr. Rupal Chaudhary will have to stay on the stage for the third award. I invite Dr. Alok Bansal, Dr. Sumit Jogarkar and Ms. Thank you, Dr. Alok Bansal. I request Dr. Satnam Umecha, Dr. Anukul Hai and Dr. Arpit Loya. Please give a big hand. Thank you. Dr. Satnam, Dr. Anukul, Dr. Arpit Loya. I also invite Dr. Muralidhar Panda. Dr. Purnesh Kulbake. Dr. Purnesh, Dr. Nitin Tate, our conference convener as well. Many congratulations and a big hand to all the authors. I now invite Dr. Nitin Tate twice for his paper publication in ADBCC category. I now also invite Dr. Amitabh Joshi to please come on the stage for the award. Dr. Amitabh Joshi. Dr. Amitabh Joshi for 2 awards. I invite Dr. Satnam Umecha. Satnam Umecha ma'am again for the award. Dr. Jyoti Vyas Bajpayee. Dr. Jyoti Bajpayee for the 3 awards. Professor Sumit Jogarkar. Professor Sumit Jogarkar and Dr. Rashmi Gharia. Please, ma'am. Please, sir.
Dr. Nidhi Sharma, Dr. Raksha Thakur, and Dr. Ajit Upadhyay, and Mr. Sumit Jokarkar for the award, please. Dr. Sumit Jokarkar for another award. And Sumit sir has to wait again to get.
Dr. Shweta Mugre, ma'am is there. Again, Dr. Shweta Mugre, Dr. Rashmi Barjatia, Dr. Rashmi Barjatia, Dr. Saurabh Singh, Dr. Sukhjeet Matharu, Dr. Sachidanand Pachauri, Dr. Saurabh Singh, and Priyanka Jain, ma'am. All of you are requested to please come on the stage. Dr. Nitin Girdarwal, I'm so sorry for that. Dr. Again, Dr. Nitin Girdarwal for the award. Dr. Chetan Nagar. Dr. Chetan Nagar. Dr. Varun Sarda. Dr. Varun Sarda. Dr. Rashmi Gharia. Dr. Arpan Srivastava. Dr. Arpan Srivastava. Dr. Prachi Maheshwari. Miss Nalika Kushwaha. So please give, yes, Miss Dr. Prachi Maheshwari. Thank you so much, Signatory. Please give a big hand to all the award winners. Thank you. But I think the faculty could not achieve this without the support of directors. So please give a big hand for all the directors. Thank you. And yes, the directors even also could not support us without the support of the management. So please give a big hand to the management. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please take seat. Well, yes, one more thing. We have a Prestige International Journal that is going to be released right now. So again, for that, I would like to request on stage three very talented faculty members, Dr. Jyoti Vyas, Dr. Vidya Teland, and Dr. Chanchala on stage, please. And I'm sorry, I will again have to request you all to please release the book. Please, ma'am. Can we have the books, please? Dr. Chanchala. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I would now like to play the AV of our special guest, Shri Mrityunjay.
Mr. Mrityunjay, Deputy General Manager, Circle Head, Indore in Punjab National Bank. His educational qualifications includes BSc Honours, MBA in Finance and Marketing. Mr. Mrityunjay is Certified Associate of Indian Institute of Bankers. He is also Certified Professional in Sales Acceleration Program from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. As a multitasker, Sir has handled various divisions like HR, IT, inspection, digital banking, marketing, corporate communication, etc. Sir was also associated as a principal in Training Center of Central Staff College, Delhi. We welcome you, sir.
Before I request sir to come here and address us, I just want to welcome one of the guests with your permission, sir. We have Mr. Abhigyan Sarkar with us, so please give a big hand for him. And I request Dr. Devasis Malik to please welcome him with a bouquet. May I request the internal team to please bring the bouquet. Sir, please, Malik. Please come in with the bouquet. Thank you. Thank you so much. I request Shri Mrityunjay Kumar, sir, please come and address us.
Respected Chancellor Dr. David Jain Sahab, Vice Chancellor Madam Renu Jain, scholars sitting on the dais, professors, lecturers, students and my colleagues. I am thankful to Pimr allowing us and inviting us and giving us some time to showcase Punjab Bank. However, Punjab Bank is already associated with Pimr for the last 25 years. I also congratulate Pimr for 18th International Conference. The theme of the today's program is professional transformation in management process, practices for economic development and social welfare. This subject is very high as far as looking after these scholars sitting on the dais is concerned, and I think I am very small to discuss on this subject, but I will definitely take the opportunity from the dais to discuss few words about our bank, few about economics, what is happening in India, few about inflation which is affecting our country, and of course relationship with Pimr and Punjab National Bank, if allowed by the dais. Sir, I belong to Punjab National Bank. This is 128-year-old bank, and after merger of Allahabad Bank into Indian Bank, now Punjab Bank is the oldest bank of India. 120 years surviving a financial institution is a great achievement. We have survived 1919 crisis, we have survived 1930 crisis, we have survived partition 1947. Because before partition, our headquarters was at Lahore, and it was a challenge to shift the bank from Lahore to New Delhi. We survived that challenges and successfully actually transfer our headquarters business into India. We survived 1968 crisis. We survived 2018 crisis also. And we survived 2020 and onward Corona crisis also. And now we are growing stronger and stronger with the support of all of you. This bank was being founded by the great freedom fighter, Punjab Kesari, Dr. Lala Lajpat Rai ji. And the first operation of this bank was being started on 12 April 1895. We are presently the second largest bank of India, second largest national bank of India, having more than 1 lakh employees, 11,000 branch, more than 10,000 ATM, that is also a touch point, more than 12,000 BC, that is customer service center, that means we are having more than 32,000 touch point. During this journey, 128 journey, more 9 bank has already been merged or amalgamated into this bank successfully. With PIMR, which has been opened in 1994, we have been associated with PIMR right from the beginning. We had a very small counter inside the premise at that time, and that was an extension counter. But after the expansion of PIMR, we had to shift expansion of PIMR and of course expansion of financial bank business with the help and support of PIMR. We had to shift outside PIMR. But we have recognized the relationship, love and affection being given by the PIMR, and we have retained the name of PIMR, and we will retain the name of PIMR till the banking system exists. This shows the love, affection, respect of this great institution by our bank. Coming to some economic points, which I had requested that at present our economy is developing at a very fast speed, and we are in a development phase. Currently, we are 5th largest economy of the world. We hope that if by 2023 last or 2024, we will cross Germany and become 4th largest economy of the world. And we are just near to that economy, Germany. And by the end of 2024 or by the start of 2025, we aim to become the 3rd largest economy of the world by beating Japan. The pace we are growing, the current speed of growth, our GDP growth is more than 6%, the fastest growing economy of the world. And this is so because, see the pace of our GDP growth. It took 65 years to become $1 trillion GDP. $1 trillion in 65 years. Next 8 years, it becomes $2 trillion economy. And in next 5 years, it becomes $5 trillion, $3 trillion economy. Currently, we are sitting at $3.5 trillion, and we are just behind Germany. But interesting is that in the last 8 years, we crossed from 10th to 5th. We crossed Russia, Italy, France, UK and Canada. And now we are able to beat Germany and Japan. And we will become the 3rd largest economy of the world. But the new growth of India is inclusive and the growth process is going on all states. This is not coming from one state or 2 states, it is coming from all states, all 31 states. All 7 union territories is contributing to GDP now, our GDP now. But the main strength of our economy, main strength of our GDP is that 2/3 of the GDP is driven by domestic demand. That is the strength of our GDP. And that is the strength of our growth model of India. Demand is ahead of supply. Demand is ahead of supply. The new growth of India is inclusive and not just related to 5, 6, 7 cities. It is coming from villages, cities, small towns, and all the 31 cities, all the 31 states and union territory. Growth is coming from everywhere. Growth is coming from every part of the India. We are going through the most crucial phase, unprecedented phase as far as growth is concerned. Transformation is the history of free world, and that is happening in India. Every day, that is the estimate, every day 75,000 people from villages moving to city, and that is creating an opportunity. Be it in housing, be it in infra, be it in water, be it in electricity, be it in medical. And for that, PNB is supporting them. And be it quality education, for that PIMR is there. PIMR is developing and actually enhancing your quality education and supporting quality education work. And with association of PIMR, PNB is also growing. In the next 25 years, the estimate is that in the next 25 years, 21% of workforce will be from India. Of that, 20% will belongs to middle class. And this is all again creating an opportunity for all of us. As far as digitalization is concerned, now I am touching some part of digitalization. That is because it is also affecting our banking system. When our Honorable Prime Minister launched Digital India in 2015, just 8 years before 2015, I think it was in July 2015. Our rank, India's rank as far as data consumption was 125. 125 rank India was as far as data consumption is concerned. Now, just believe we are at the top as far as data consumption. That too in 8 and a half a year. July 2015, that means 90 months. Within 90 months, our data consumption is now top. And the total data consumption in India is more than the data consumption in US and China in combined. And it is still growing, growing. This is the data consumption is also transforming India. Our bank is also pioneer in availing this opportunity as far as digital transformation is concerned. We are having all type of digital products. One of them is mobile app. Most of the professors, lecturers, and students are availing that mobile app. Wonderful mobile app. And recently we have also some of the dignitaries were saying about the utilization of digital transaction. In digital transaction also in India, more than 40% of the digital transaction of the world is looking through India. Happening in India, in fact, more than 40% of digital transaction. And all for that, our bank is having a percentage of more than 6%. And we are growing with the new app which we are launching. And one of the app is that is UPI. That UPI is our internationally accepted. Now it is accepted in more than 7 countries, and that UPI has been actually PNB UPI is actually growing fast, and we are able to connect at least accessible to more than 100 countries. This is new India, growing with a faster speed. Everyone has to avail this opportunity. PNB and PIMR jointly growing with this growth engine, and we are providing, as far as PNB is concerned, we are providing all type of education loan, domestic education loan or international education loan in the name of Udan. If some student of the PMR is going abroad to avail some education, we are also providing Udan in a very easy terms. We are also providing salary accounts to the employee and student accounts for PMR students. We are also providing all type of salary facility to PMR lecturers and professors employee. And we are hopeful that this relationship, the PNB and PMR, will grow faster than ever. And we will grow and we will grow. We will grow with the speed of the India. And again, I am thankful to PMR and the institution allowing us to showcase our bank and showcase our institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful session. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we all definitely value our association with Punjab National Bank. Thank you so much. I would now request and I would like to play the AD of our special guest, Shri Parikshit Vaidya, who is head Modern Dress Retail Health Channel.
Mr. Parikshit Vaidya, Business Head of North and West Zone, Royal General Insurance Company Limited, Mumbai. Sir is a graduate in economics and postgraduate in insurance, specializing in health insurance from Insurance Institute of India. Mr. Vaidya is also certified professional in Sales Acceleration Program from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. Sir has contributed his services to many renowned organizations. He started his career associating with ICICI Bank, served as a business development manager in HDFC Bank and channel development manager in ICICI Lombard. We welcome you, sir.
Good afternoon all. And first and foremost, I would like to thank the esteemed management of PIMR for inviting us. And I would also like to welcome all the future entrepreneurs, corporate heads, and aspiring unicorns who are sitting at the back, all the students. So, thank you. The topic which was given to us today, which is transforming management practices and processes for economic development and societal welfare. Honestly speaking, my boss was also going to be here and I was going to be a part with him, but because of some exigency he couldn't come and I am filling up for him. But when I thought about this topic and I told my boss, we have to have a topic discussion on this, what do I say? So my boss told me one very simple thing. Whatever the topic of discussion is there today, if you just tell them Lal Sundaram's story, everything will get encompassed in that. And what I'm going to tell you today is how the Sundaram group came into being and how we, the Sundaram group was founded in 1911, which is like again more than 100 years old. And the story behind it is quite unique. And it is worth learning how a business enterprise starts from very humble beginning but grows into a behemoth that it is today. So I would like to tell you the story of our founder, Mr. TVS Iyengar, and how he created this $8 billion group of companies. So Mr. TVS started in 1911 by starting a road service, transport service, bus service between 3 cities in south, which is Madurai, Tanjavur, and the third one is very difficult for me to pronounce, but it is Kottakuddai. Mr. Raman sir can help me. So in these 3 cities, he started the first private passenger bus service. And, pardon me? Okay. No, sir, he is quite young, so I don't think he'll be more than that age. So what made that bus service very unique was something very innovative that our founder did. While running the buses, he ensured, in those days the biggest delay in transportation was on the roads. There were a lot of nails and on the roads, majority of them were being used by horses. The horseshoes, their nails and everything used to fall on the road. And whatever few buses used to run at that point of time used to have punctures. And this used to cause a huge delay. And of course, when a bus gets punctured, the passengers had to get down and push the bus to a side to allow the other traffic to go. Our founder, the visionary that he was, he made a pilot vehicle which had magnets attached to the bottom of the bus. And he used to send that pilot vehicle half an hour early than the slated time of the bus. And this magnet used to collect all the nails and whatever metal debris which was there on the road. And it ensured that the bus which ran was completely puncture free. Really inspiring. And his name was TVS. The bus service name at that point of time became very popular. And Raman sir, I would require your help again. It was called as Thala Vindam Sir. So Thala Vindam Sir, when you translate it, it means no pushing. You did not push. Thala Vindam Sir, sorry, okay. That means you did not push the bus. So the passengers came to know the Southern Roadways service by this name. And TVS, which is again our founder's name, TVS Sundar Mayengar, it also translated into the services which we wanted to venture into. And the logo became Trust, Vision and Service, and hence the TVS group for which we are a part of. So when this entire topic came into our discussion, and my boss told me that whatever you have to discuss, if you tell this story and what you need to convey to all the future corporate also who are going to be a part of this growing economy, they will want to implement in their future lives as either a business owner or as a corporate leader who will be making policy decisions and run the corporate world. Few things which I want to discuss and highlight is how do you, now everybody has spoken about how India is growing, how the economy is growing, but how as responsible citizens, Dr. Dennis spoke about what the governments need to do. But I'm sure not everybody in this room, especially the ones who are sitting at the back, will do a government job. They will either land up in a corporate job or they'll be running a business of their own. So how to implement transformation or how to implement management processes which will help create an environment for economic and societal welfare is something which we need to discuss. Now the first thing which came into our mind is foster a culture of innovation and continuous improvement by encouraging and experimentation from failure. Now when I look at our founder members' life journey perspective, and Dr. Rao also mentioned rejection is something which should steal yourself. He faced a lot of hurdles at that point of time, traveling in a metal container. The buses used to be was seen as a taboo. So they used to call the railways as a devil's vehicle because it used to blow out smoke. So people said, "Are yahan pe buggy hai, so buses mein kaun chadega?" So same thing. So even then he persisted and he created the biggest southern road networks in southern India. So if you have a culture where you nurture innovation and then improve on them continuously, I think you will have a value to wherever you are as either a corporate leader or as an entrepreneur. Also, there was a discussion with one of the esteemed panels, Dr. Dennis. I think again he spoke about sustainability and responsible business practices. And Dr. Renu also said that as responsible corporate citizens,
we must now also look at the humane side of businesses. In my career, working with so many companies, I have always seen that those companies who are more attuned to kind of attach themselves to the customer's life rather than what the businesses will do are more successful. And when you look about organizations such as Tata's and the Infosys and even Sundaram Group for that matter, we are growing not only by the services we provide, but we are also growing by what we do for our customers rather than just give them the product which we design and for which they use. So one of the things which I would want you to ponder on is that how do you make policy decisions which will affect our customers or the entire stakeholders which are there in a business, change their lives. So now that can not be just your customers, it can be your supply chain management, it can be your stakeholders, it can be your community which the business operates into. So for example, when corporates open up a plant in a rural area, obviously they do that because land is cheap, labor is also cheap, but they don't just stop there. What they do is they open community centers there, they open education centers there. So what essentially happens is that the rural area no longer becomes a rural area. It becomes a part of a economy which is now ready to take off. And this is exactly what I think that as responsible corporate individuals and as business owners we need to implement. Third thing which I would like to emphasize is have diversity of people in your organizations. Okay, because it was a very funny incident which happened just a couple of weeks back. We were having a Zoom call with one of our clients. So everybody knows Sundaram is a predominantly a South-based company, but our company has embraced diversity and we have employees who are working in Chennai from all parts of the country. So we had 4 corners of our country representing that to a client. So we had our head of liabilities, Mr. Abumcha, who hails from Northeast. There was one Rishi Arora who came from the North. There was me. Obviously, I am from West, Marathi, and of course my boss. So as an organization, when you have such diverse individuals working for you, even the customer feels that you have connected with the country. It's not just one particular region-based company. So I would encourage all of you or the companies to have diversity in their organization so that you get different line of thoughts coming in, right? Encourage employment, what we call it as encourage employee empowerment and engagement by providing opportunities for professional development and open communication channels. Now this is also very important when we talk about transforming management practices, because whenever an organization looks at its employees as just an employee, the employee also thinks vice versa and he sees him just as a person who will give him his check at the end of the month. But when organizations become more than that, when they are keen to invest in the development of their employees, and that is where PI institutes such as PIMRs and others come into play, where they offer courses to working professionals. And if organizations encourage their employees to develop themselves. I did my PG when I was working in an organization. I started working after I became graduate. There were some circumstances in my family where I had to work immediately once I got my degree. But when I realized that, okay, for moving up the corporate ladder, you need to have a PG, I actually enrolled myself in one of the institutes which offered a Saturday, Sunday full-time course. So hence, what I'm trying to say is that when organizations invest and include practices in their management which allow emphasis for development of their employees, there is stickability. Again, there was a discussion which happened on
a strong sense of corporate responsibility. Yes, we in organizations there is a rule which everybody knows here, which is called as CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. It is very often some of the corporates view it as something which is a tick mark activity done because it's a government mandated order. But there are some corporates who really go the whole level and who really engage in the communities which they serve. So as organizations where we work for or the businesses which may run, if you have a strong sense of CSR, not just as a corporate activity to tick for, but to actually provide difference to the environment which you work for, will definitely help us transform management practices and help companies make the changes they want to. A few things about Royal Sundaram what I would like to tell you. Royal Sundaram, which is a part of the Sundaram group, is around 150 branches more in spread across the country. We have 2 crore customer base as of now, and yes, when we talk about the implementation of what we have been discussing all this while, I have seen it firsthand that this organization is full of innovation, transforming management practices to suit all the stakeholders. And when I talk about that, just one example which I am giving you is that when COVID hit, and this is something which is very relevant to all of us, all the major insurance companies underwent a huge losses in terms of claims, because nobody in their wild imagination would have thought that we would be hit with a pandemic which will affect so many people in the country and lead to so many hospitalizations. So as a result, many of the insurance companies raised their premiums. But I am proud to share that as an insurance company, we are the only insurance company who actually reduced their premiums in times of this COVID. So this is something which we are following the tradition of our founder, and we are fostering what we call it as a community service rather than that. Our product team is fostering innovative products for all parts of the country, especially the rural. We are pioneering in crop insurance, we do cattle insurance, and yes, we have created special markets for demographies, right from the newborn to the senior citizen. And students insurance is one of our biggest innovation which we have done, and it is because of this innovation that I am standing in front of you. We all know that we have tied up with Pimr for our insurance policies, and we would like to take it ahead from there. Lastly, I would just like to inform and or not inform rather, I would just like to give my, I would say, I don't know how to put it across. See, I am a sales guy. I am more comfortable talking about sales numbers rather than standing here and giving speeches. But what I would want to tell you as students of Pimr is that when you leave your academic life and when you enter your work life, there are a lot of things which you study as a student, but when it comes to implementation, you might think, "Arey, humne ye sikha tha," but it doesn't turn out that way. That is a fact of life. What institutes like Pimr do with its faculty, world-class faculty which I am seeing, is that they are getting you ready for these kind of scenarios. And that is the reason why we as a industry member of corporates are called here to interact with you. We are asked to share our experiences with you. They are making you market ready, and they are making you corporate ready. So once again, I would like to thank everybody out here, the faculty members, the students, and my fellow panelists here for inviting us. And thank you so much, and we will continue to be a part of your work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful address. It's great, it's a pleasure to know more about TVS, Royal Sundaram, Sundaram Finance, and knowing more about the diversity in your organization, employee empowerment and CSR, and I'm sure all our students are going to learn a lot about with your session. Thank you so much, and we truly look forward to our association with your organization. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, gratitude is our attitude. With this, may I now request Dr. Debashish Malik to present memento to Dr. Renu Jain, Honorable Vice Chairman, DAVV, as a token of our gratitude and respect. Please, sir. Vice Chancellor, I'm so sorry. Honorable Vice Chancellor, DAVV. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. I request Dr. Alok Bansal to present memento to Dr. Dennis Wing. Please, sir. Please give a big hand. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Vipin Chaudhary to present memento to Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary. Chaudhary to Chaudhary, yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. May I now invite Mr. Salil Sen Gupta to present memento to Sri Mrityunjay as a token of our love and respect. I invite Dr. Amitabh Joshi to present memento to Sri Parikshit Vaidya. Okay, I request Dr. Rajesh, please sir, please come forward. Dr. Amitabh Joshi, please. Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite Dr. Nitin Tade, Professor and HOD, Finance Department and Conference Convener for vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Nidhi, for wonderful conduction. First, thanks to you. It is said that thank you is just a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart, and we are feeling it. I feel honored and privileged to get this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this very special occasion. And it is also said that feeling thankfulness and not expressing it is just like wrapping a present and not giving it. The main purpose of international conference is to exchange views on the conference theme. I think we have achieved this objective, and all our delegates during 2 days of conference will be sharing their existing knowledge and will surely contribute to the theme of the conference. During these 2 days of conference, we will be having best PhD contest, technical sessions, and to invite research quality in our faculty members and delegates, we would be having a research workshop. I hope everyone will surely get benefit of it. I would also like to mention that this year we have got the excellent response in terms of participation in all categories, and credit goes to all our faculty members and students. All our esteemed guests have shared millions of dollar views and life-enriching experience. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude to Dr. Renu Jain Madam for sparing her valuable time from her busy schedule. Madam, we will surely remember your words of wisdom and definitely will try to have the word that you said, and will also invite in all our students. Thank you very much, madam, for this valuable time. I must mention my deep sense of gratitude to Dr. Dennis Wink from Amsterdam, and he is with us for last 5 days for accepting the award, PIMR Eminent Academician Award, and also sharing his valuable views and teaching experience. I would also like to mention pre-conference, we have organized a 3-day faculty development program on corporate finance and business valuation. Thank you, Dr. Dennis, for your innovative and engaging teaching pedagogy. Thank you very much, sir. And I also hope that we have discussed, we would be developing case studies, because all the case studies that sir has discussed are in European context. And during our discussion in last 3 days, I am hopeful that we will be developing case studies in Indian context so that all our stakeholders will get more benefit of it. Thank you very much, sir. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation for Dr. Raja Roy Chaudhary for accepting PIMR Management Excellence Award and sharing his valuable experience on changing management practices and processes. Sir, your words that every activity of the organization should increase quality of life, and being at PIMR, practice it. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your words. My sincere thanks to Mr. Mrityunjay from Punjab National Bank for sharing his valuable views on transformation in banking sector with a special reference to Punjab National Bank. Thank you very much, sir. My utmost regard to Mr. Parikshit ji for his kind words on paradigm shift in general insurance segment with a specific reference to Royal Sundaram. I also take this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to respected Dr. Davis Jain sir for sparing his valuable time and making this inaugural ceremony of 18th International Conference a grand success. Without your blessing and presence, we are incomplete, sir. You have made us complete. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing 4 hours with us. I would like to thank Director UG Campus for conducting the award ceremony in a very interesting manner. Thank you very much, sir. And last but not the least, my vote of thanks will be incomplete without expressing my regards to our Senior Director, sir, for providing all support to conduct this type of conference and inaugural session. Thank you very much, sir. आगाज इतना अच्छा है तो अंजाम और शानदार होगा. जी हाँ, अभी 2 दिन बाकी हैं, आज और कल. तो इस अंदाज के साथ हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. And if time is money, you have spent 4 hours with us. If time is money, then you have spent millions with us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all the dignitaries for your kind presence. Thank you.
I just want to share that Nitin and his team has actually worked day in and day out to make this success. So, if somebody has to deserve an applause, it is he and his team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for the vote of thanks. I would now request each one of you to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जवल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की
जय.
Thank you so much. Thank you, dignitaries. I would request each one of you to please join us for lunch. Thank you so much. There will be a group photograph outside with all the delegates. After that, please join us for lunch. Thank you so much. You can have it.